After a mouth-watering Premier Intermediate final here in the Clouty, I spoke to the winning manager there, TJ Connolly. TJ, some game of hurling.
Great game of hurling, John. Absolutely fantastic game of hurling. Not good for the heart at all. From the minute the ball was thrown in, we looked a little bit flat, and we said to ourselves, "Is this going to be again another weekend of this that we didn't perform?" And Carty came to the table again, hit the ground running, and took a nice lead. But look, I suppose we kept tipping away with a couple of points, and we went in 5 down at half time, which is probably nothing in the game of hurling. But we went to the boys and we said to them, look, last week was a preliminary round, today is the final. We have to perform today. If we don't perform today and we leave it behind us, there's big questions going to be asked of all of us. And in fairness, they answered the questions, and it was an absolute classic second half. Point for point, couple of goals. We got a couple of goals that we didn't get last week, that Dara stopped all of them on us last week, so thank God he didn't get them all this week. But a fantastic game of hurling, John. Yeah,
look, you were 6 points down, 3 minutes into the second half there. Davy McGrath got a goal then and brought it back to 3, and by the 17th minute then it was back on level terms again.
Yeah, it was tit for tat, and Carty were answering our questions, they were answering our scores, and then they went 1 or 2 up again, and we to answer it again. And in fairness to Cathal Quinn, we took Cathal off last Sunday, and he was down a bit about it, but he came back again to training this week and ran really, really well, and he came up with an equalising point that we needed there at the death to try and get extra time.
He did, because Aero had gone 3 points up. Devon pulled it back there with 2 frees, and then Quinn got in for the equaliser there 4 minutes into injury time.
Yeah, it was all badly needed, and every score was vital. There was only going to be a puck of a ball in it at any stage. We were glad to get to extra time, because when Carty went 3 points up down the home straight, it took a bit of character from our lads to get back in level terms, which they did, in fairness.
They did, and then he led at half time in injury time there, or in extra time I should say, but then Dara Kelly then just that then he equalised, and 'twas, with 6 minutes gone, 3 minutes left in the game, the sides were level again, TJ.
They were levelling back, but Dara Kelly had some game too now, and we tried everything. We tried a few lads on him, and in fairness, Nathan probably curtailed him better than some of the rest of the boys were finding it hard on him, and I think he came away with about 1-7 from play and the rest from frees. So look, he's going to take a bit of market again, because we have to meet him again, John, down the line. But yeah, it was tit for tat, a draw game here and there, and we got a couple of breaks in the finish of the second period of extra time. We just kicked on a small bit, maybe with fresher legs and younger legs.
You did, yeah. You got the last 3 points of the game there, and even though it could have gone to penalties there, the last 3 Mooney's free bobbled around there.
Yeah, and Dara has such power behind the ball, it could have went anywhere. And in fairness to our lads, they put their bodies on the line. I think it hit up on their legs and it came out, and it went out to the side. Luckily enough, that could have went back into the net, and we'd be looking at penalties. But look, we've done it tonight now. We knew last Sunday night that we didn't perform. We knew we'd missed a couple of goal chances. We would have expected ourselves to be a bit better in the first 20 minutes of the game tonight, which we weren't. But when the question was put to them to get us back into the West Final and get ourselves back in a bit of track, they answered the call, in fairness to them.
Yeah, it's nice now going in 2 weeks' time to the county championship there. You have the West over now for this year, and it's all going now in the county championship.
It is, John, and it's going to get tougher. It's going to get tougher, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Winning your West Trophy will give us a bit of momentum now for the next couple of weeks' training, because if we're beaten tonight, it's yourself, John, in sport, it's hard to lift it back up again. But look, we have a decent team on paper, but sometimes you have to transfer that from the paper in over the white line. And look, we're delighted to go home tonight with the win. I commend Anna Carty for the way that they played. I thought they were outstanding, sportsmanship to the backbone, and I wish them well going forward, even though they're in the same group as us, and I hope they come out of the group as well as ourselves, and because the West team needs it. But John, tonight was West hurling at its best, and the people got a fair reward for their money tonight now.
Thanks for that, TJ.
John, could I just say, pay tribute to Peter O'Sullivan and to Ned Marshall, our 2 club stalwarts who passed away. Ned's funeral is in the morning, and Peter O'Sullivan was buried on Friday. But look, 2 great stalwarts were after losing over the last 2 days, so I just want to think of their families tonight, even though, look, we'll probably celebrate, have a few pints tonight and go back and see what we are. We're thinking tonight of Joan O'Sullivan and Mrs. May Marshall and all their families of the 2 boys that we've lost during the week.
Yeah, two guys that I knew myself. I had the privilege there of seeing Peter back in his heyday. I actually played against him in a Crossco Cup final back in 1969. Probably the only thing Clonouty won around that period. But I knew him afterwards, and I knew Ned well as well. Two great men.
Absolutely stalwarts, and I've memories as a young lad following Cashel here on the old Clonouty pitch. Peter poked the ball out from one end of the pitch and went out the far end of the other side. He was a fantastic goalkeeper, a fantastic mentor, a fantastic man to put his hand in his pocket for Cashel Kincormacs and all the sporting clubs around Cashel. For Ned Marshall, Ned covered every patch of ground in Leahy Park as a player, as a selector, as a supporter, as a caretaker, all things that clubs need. And Ned told me a story. I hope not boring. Ned told me a story one time. They played in a tournament game, and he was playing full back. And Tommy Grogan was new in the scene, and Tommy was in the goals. And Ned was after being taken off, but he stood at the pole talking to Tommy. And the big full forward rounded whoever was after the win full back, and Ned stepped into play again as the 16th man and overturned the ball and got the ball up the pitch, and all the stories of old times. And look, we're going to miss them, those men, and we hope they're looking down us tonight, and we know they are, but regards to their families, and thank you for all the support they've given us too.
Thanks, TJ.
Thank you very much.